But we haven't lost yet, at least. So far, a draw and a win. Another King's Gambit. Let's see what happens here. All right, he accepts. I play knight f3. Now what? g5. You ask top players, they're going to play h4, if top players would ever even play the King's Gambit. But I prefer knight c3, which is known as the Quaade variation. It was named after a Dutch sea captain who advocated for this variation. And, he played h6, which is not one of the four main moves. I'm trying to create a chessable course on the King's Gambit. I've been putting my lines into Chessable, and I actually have quite a number of theoretical novelties I've come up with in a number of different positions. But it is so time consuming and it takes so much work that I'm honestly not sure if it will ever be finished. I hope it will, but, things are coming along very slowly, I should say. All right, let's do that. All right. I'm going to go for it. Attacking the knight, attacking the pawn. Attacking the knight, attacking the pawn. If I take with the bishop, then I can actually play knight takes bishop if he takes. Okay. Let's take this. Take here. All right. Well, that's better than I thought. I thought he was going to take the bishop with the rook. Rook takes and get the two minors in exchange. Do I want to even trade, though? I think I have to, unfortunately. What now? All right, I'll go here. Okay, he takes. He takes. Okay, not bad. But we do that. He's going to take here, and then I play Rook G1. And he doesn't have the bishop pair anymore. He'll have to give up one of them. He has a pawn for the exchange. Come up here, not allow him to get those pawns any further. Is really what makes the most sense. There. Go there. Okay. All right, let's see. All right. Think I'm winning this endgame. I think I am. But it's still tricky. Check. Oh, no. You do there. I go there, he gives the check. Okay. If I give check, he takes with the bishop. There. I have to find the right waiting move. Okay. Now. Let's go up. All right, he wants. Okay. Well, that was another tough game with the King's Gambit. He played very well. And against my pet line, too. But he threw me off already with the h6 move. I'm going to do this game review, but really.
Good job breaking through in the endgame with some strong maneuvers.
Okay, I didn't need that.
Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often
Okay,
leading to sharp gains.
let's turn that off. That's annoying. But here's the deal: is that if they push, just want to show this to people. If they attack the knight like this, because you might have been wondering that, the knight moves up. And then you're thinking, hey, but they give a check. right? Well, we actually block the check with the pawn. And when they take, we take here. And sometimes, now they can go into an endgame like this, or they can sometimes defend their queen like this, at which point we have to settle for this slight advantage for white. But the trap in this Quaade variation is where they say, hey, wait a minute, if I give check, you take the queen, I take the rook, and the queen reemerges, and I'm up a rook. And that is technically true. They are up a rook, but not for long. You play queen h5, attacking here. Now, the main move is knight h6 to defend that mate. And I'll just show you, there have been quite a number of games where people have played bishop e7. And after knight takes and knight attacking the queen, I'll leave it for the viewers at home to solve for the mate. Give you a little bit. But if you don't see it, I'll show it to you. Knight d6, double check. Check with the knight and check with the queen. The king comes over here, that's checkmate. And if the king runs here, well, then we have this banger of a move. Boom. Queen e8, check. And whether they take with the knight or the rook, we have the smothered mate. And that's a trap that I've actually probably had at least 10 games online of that exact game. So that's the real trap, is that they think they're winning the rook, but you attack. They bring the knight out, d4, unveiling the attack on the knight. They play d6, you take the knight. They take your knight, and now the queen swoops over and takes the pawn. Boom. You got your rook back, and you are still better. And you come right back. And this is just a much better position for white. So yeah, there are four main moves in this position. There's g4, there's bishop g7, which is very positional. There's knight to c6, which actually transposes to the Vienna game, because this can arise normally out of e4, e5, the Vienna, knight c3, knight c6, and then f4. And after they take, well, I am a big fan of d4, the Steinitz Gambit. The most common move here is knight f3. And then when they protect with g5, we're right back in that same position. And you have several options here. This is the Pierce Gambit. This is the Hampe Al-Gair Gambit, where they kick the knight thinking it's trapped, which it is, but you get a massive attack in exchange for the piece. And the latest development is just simply playing g3, which John Shaw refers to as the Sakayev line in his book, which is probably the best move. And the fourth, and actually most critical position after knight c3, the Quaade variation, is d6, which, you know, the book move has always been d4, where they play g4, and you have to sacrifice the piece, but you don't have to play d4. I'm not going to reveal what else you can play because that will be a novelty that will await people. I'm really pushing to finish my course on the King's Gambit, and I don't want to expose all the secrets. So, but that I assure you, d4 is not the only move in that position. All right, let's